Diamond, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, had the nerve to call Bitcoin fraud. His own firm is among the world's worst scammers, having a track record of cheating their customers, squeezing Uncle Sam for bailout funds at the expense of taxpayers' money, and dishing out insane bonuses to the head gang of this criminal enterprise. Jamie even joked about his own daughter buying Bitcoin like women can't make sound financial decisions, comparing her to the herd.
My daughter bought some Bitcoin and it went up and she thinks she's a genius now.
On top of that, this hypocrite compared Bitcoin to the tulip mania, while his own bank orchestrated the worst tulip mania in recent memory through subprime lending. And he had the audacity to threaten to fire any trader who buys Bitcoin, but he has no problem promoting and hiring individuals with zero integrity who are willing to manipulate the price of silver and gold all day long. This is from a man who leads an organization that is a seed investor in Ethereum and has high-ranking representatives in all major blockchain conferences. Blockchain technology is disrupting the financial services industry, and Jamie knows it and dreads it. Nasdaq is running test trials using it. Australia, Japan, and Germany are all prototyping blockchain services for their stock exchanges. TMX in Canada is already using blockchain for oil and gas contract trading. The blockchain is a single source of truth because it can't be tampered with and validates itself in real time. Up until now, there was no way to gain exposure to both the blockchain investment potential and cryptocurrencies using one specific investment strategy. Now, not only can you get leverage to cryptocurrencies, but on top of that, investors can get access to the best opportunities in blockchain by owning one publicly traded company that is about to become, as I see it, the world's first global blockchain dominator. Go to wealthresearchgroup.com/must for a complete overview of this newly listed business. Welcome to the Rise of Cryptocurrencies show. Today I've got an up-and-coming cryptocurrency investor and consultant out of Asia, Ryan Lai. He's the founder of Crypto Grinders YouTube channel and cryptogrinders.com. Ryan, let's start with, how do you analyze Bitcoin's fair value, or other cryptocurrencies for that matter, short-term and long-term? What's your philosophy on this matter?
I think this is a question that a lot of people are trying to figure out. Like when I go to all the talks, all the hedge fund managers are trying to put a so-called a valuation on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and whatever altcoin there is. But I don't want to try to sound smart, but at the end of the day, I think it's the people that give it the value. That's how I can say for one thing. Because I guess if you look at Bitcoin already has a very established infrastructure. You're talking about ATMs, practically all the exchanges are providing liquidity, and also at the same time, how much media coverage is being given. So it's very hard to put an intrinsic value or fair value towards Bitcoin. And the current price now is 5,800 as we speak. And why should it be 5,800? It is because the people believe, or the market believes, that is priced at 5,800, right? And people are probably charging towards it because they all want the free Bitcoin Gold. That's one of the obvious reasons. And after that, usually there's probably a dump, But then again, who is to say? And no one really knows how Bitcoin's value is gonna go in the next 3 to 6 months. But that's how I usually look at things.
What are your primary advices for people starting out right now, listeners who want to avoid pitfalls and smoothly begin to get involved? What do you advise to them?
Okay, so when you're starting out, I assume that we all will start off with probably a Coinbase account, and most of the time we just want to get in. But I would always want to advise people to never bite off more than they can chew, because the volatility in cryptocurrencies is very real. We're talking about fluctuations of anywhere from 10, 15 to even 30% in a given day. Of course, if we are talking about just purely Bitcoin, then maybe 10% is 10 to even 15% could happen in terms of a correction could happen. So if that's the case, right, my advice is also not just to put in money on a gradual monthly basis. That's one. And technical analysis is not for everybody, but if you have a little bit of if you have a little bit of basic technical analysis knowledge, it really goes a long way, because it kind of gives you a little bit of thinking of, okay, it's already at a new all-time high. Could it be a possibility to wait a little bit? But you know what? Most of the time, I would strongly recommend that we look at what is the blockchain technology first, allow us to appreciate what's the technology behind Bitcoin, what's the network effect, and why decentralization is important, and from there make an assessment about going in. That is what I would advise for anyone who's starting out.
Ryan, JP Morgan has been hacked, Target has been hacked, Home Depot has been hacked, we've seen credit card companies hacked, social security details compromised, medical data reaching the wrong hands. Is this the beginning of more decentralized systems in light of failure to trust a centralized source of power? Is the public ready for decentralization?
Ironically, today, I actually I went for a talk where Charlie Lee was speaking today here in Singapore, and he mentioned that the world is the decentralization is a very, very big word, very broad word, and ultimately it may be more superior, and it's definitely going to be more secure. But however, there's going to be scalability issues when it comes to decentralized networks. So for now, although yes, you already mentioned all the big institutions, CIA, Home Depot, all getting hacked, because it's a central point of failure. But however, when you're talking about scalability and data storage and whatnot, I guess a central database is still important for now. But eventually, we hope to be able to transition to it, because it can be secure, and I just feel that it just needs some time.
What's the next stage for wallet to make them more user-friendly? Many people have lost their wallets, lost their passwords, and many other unfortunate cases. What do you see as the future of this?
I think wallets would be much okay from a simplicity standpoint. As long as there's a way to simplify the addresses, as long as there's a way for people to secure from a simplicity standpoint, I can key in a name, for example, like attaching an Ethereum DNS to our address. I think that's a very easy way. So I can just say, transfer money to Lior, for example, and Lior Gans, and it's attached to a address. It's so much simpler than having to copy a whole long string of hash and sending it over. So that's one. So far, in terms of wallets, if you're referring to the hot wallets, I find that they're okay. There's always a compromise, right? If you want convenience, you can't always have maximum security. So, for example, if you're on a cold wallet like a Legend NOS or a Trezor, it's not as convenient, but it's definitely so much more secure because it's always remote, right? But at the end of the day, it's about making sure that it gets easier to use. So for the most part, when I see people downloading a wallet, that's already pretty simple and straightforward. And in terms of security wise, it's just like everything else. Even the existing wallets, if they can have somewhat like maybe like a token feature where you have to key in an additional password, that would be great. So just before they send their funds, there's going to be a secondary a 2FA or somewhat, just a double confirmation before sending it across. And so far, if you have a wallet that you own the private keys to, even if somehow your phone crashes and whatnot, you still are able to retrieve that because there's a passphrase in place. So, I guess it's kind of okay. I don't find that the current system is that bad. in terms of in terms of use cases, I find it pretty user friendly actually. But I'm not sure in terms of how the older generation will take it. But as long as as long as we are progressing, I noticed that we are progressing and the wallets are getting simpler. But like I said, as long as you can send money simply and receive money simply, and eventually maybe they can improve on the privacy features, because right now everybody can see everyone's transactions and everyone can see, like, like, for example, if they had the transferred from your address and maybe your address had 10 BTC in there. The problem with that is that people will know that you have 10 BTC sitting in that wallet. So maybe there should be some kind of privacy feature that can be embedded, like a coin mixing, or, for example, ZK snarks or something like that. That would be pretty good as well. So we're still working on it. It will happen.
Which cryptocurrency or which ICO, in your opinion, is making smart moves and drawing more attention from the network right now?
Okay. So far, when you talk about cryptocurrencies, I think fundamentally now Quantum is making headlines. Okay, Patrick Dai has been doing a very, very good job in terms of promoting the Quantum project in Korea, and at the same time he's moving from the US to Korea. He's making the right moves, and also the Quantum team is literally working on the code, improving and moving towards, I think, the x86 virtual machine. And it's all about building enterprise on the blockchain, making enterprise or the blockchain easy for enterprise. I think this is just the main key thing about infrastructure. And of course, when you look at another project, for example, like Omisego, it's nice to have a ready-made business intending to integrate the blockchain, and that's something that's very comforting to know, because I think as investors step into this space, we are always wondering to ourselves, why are we investing millions of dollars into white paper? Just white papers, right? It's just pretty amazing in itself. It's great from a fundraising perspective, but when you look at it from an investor standpoint, there's not very much to work on. But I guess the tech space is the way it is. It's usually about future value, and I think for that part, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it sometimes, because I love to find projects that actually have products. So another project that maybe I can highlight that's still in the ICO stage is Potntial, and Potntial is basically a point of sales system that when I saw the demo, I was really impressed, because mom and pop could easily top up and buy cryptocurrencies and also spend cryptocurrencies with that point of sales device. So it's getting easier, guys. I realize, Leo, it's the infrastructure is starting to happen, and I'm very excited about how everything is starting to progress. Yeah, it's this is probably the kind of picks that I'm looking at going forward. Just being more stringent, being more careful as well.
That's a solid advice, Ryan, because 95% of startups, ICOs or otherwise, end up in money heaven with investors' money in the grave. So with that said, what are your top altcoins? For Wealth Research Group this year, we suggested Ether at $12, Monero at 98 cents, and just suggested taking profits on it because it's reached $88, almost a 100-fold return. Steam, we suggested at 16 cents, and it's now around 80 cents, and we see it potentially hitting $1.50. So on a risk-reward ratio, this is one of our highest priority ones. And of course, Bitcoin, since it was 400 with the newsletter. Currently, our highest conviction is Steam, as we said, but we are looking at other ones as well. What are your top altcoins?
Okay, I'm actually looking for, when you're looking at altcoins, I think we should look at 2018. Because I think volatility is going to be very, very low and very controlled until the end of the year. Because I think traders are already starting to taper off, and institutions are still not really stepping in wholeheartedly into this space due to the fact that there's a lack of liquidity, in terms of the altcoins in general. But I think for the fact that right now I'm still looking at as I mentioned, those picks that I mentioned earlier, it's the same thing because it takes time. Because when I picked Ethereum, that was when it was about $9 to $12, and that was last year. And I'm seeing this kind of project and potential in Quantum. So Quantum is literally same thing. Now it's trading below $10, and it had a spike up to $16 to $18, depending on which exchange you were on. I'm seeing for the fact that these proof of stake coins are gradually gaining popularity. And I think proof of stake will be a very strong competitor because it's definitely more eco-friendly, and it is a so-called younger way of proving. It's a younger way of securing the network compared to proof of work. But you know what? There are a lot of coins that are actually having this kind of consensus algorithm at the moment. But nonetheless, Quantum would be my pick. Omise Go, being that although from the ICO till now they've already made amazing returns. I think Omise Go was like anywhere from 30 cents, and currently now it's trading at about 7.76, 7.40. There's still a long way to go for Omise Go, especially in the next 3 to 4 months when they do launch their blockchain. I think things are going to start to pick up, and they're going to be a decentralized exchange. Kyber is also a cryptocurrency and an altcoin to look out for, because they are going to be a decentralized exchange that are going to have their own liquidity providers. So that helps to keep the price stable. That is probably a key essential thing. That's why Vitalik has been actually representing these two projects in particular to probably supplement the Ethereum platform. This is what I'm thinking, because I've rarely seen Vitalik actually put his face on projects, and the fact that he's putting his face on Kyber and Omise Go, probably people should at least consider taking a look at these two projects. And of course, nonetheless, when it comes to investing, always make sure that you can invest in things that are more long term, but at the same time also don't over invest into something or don't over leverage into something as well. But these will be my picks.
I'm glad you mentioned institutional investors, Ryan, because of course we've covered the fairy tale story of Hive blockchain technology, the first publicly traded pure blockchain stock, who is currently growing and buying mining facilities and has gone from 74 cents Canadian on September 18th when it started trading to $3.74 by mid-October, a 500% move. And we know that institutional money will always rather own a regulated stock than an unregulated ICO. So basically, this is the bridge connecting the institutional money, the big money, and the cryptocurrency blockchain world. So I'm glad you brought that up. Share with us a little bit of what your company do. What are you up to?
All right. So, thanks for asking. So, I'm the founder of Crypto Grinders YouTube channel. And when I started the channel, it was basically to educate people about cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and naturally investing in the space. Because as an ex-banker, we would always make sure that we provide the financial needs analysis. And also, we want to make sure that our clients are fully aware about what they're investing in. So, this is very important when it comes to putting your money into an asset class, and cryptocurrencies is an asset class, and that is something that we have to recognize. And most people, they are now looking at the hype, right? Because they heard their friends making amazing money, and then suddenly, the next thing, they want to get involved as well, but they don't want to do the due diligence and they don't want to do the research. So I figured that, Crypto Grinders could serve that gap. And if our channel and also the businesses that we run, so I also do private consultation for my clients. So basically any person anyone who is interested in, rebalancing or creating a portfolio around cryptocurrencies, we have that service as well. I run a signals chat where people could learn how to buy, sell, learn how to take profit, technical trading setups, and also from a fundamental analysis standpoint, we also provide news articles and reports around the cryptocurrency space. So it's pretty holistic, yeah.
And that's what's the website?
Okay, for now, it's www.cryptogrinders.com. So we're still revamping. It doesn't look fantastic, but in 2018 we'll have a full site, looking smashing and all. But you can visit. Yeah, you can visit. And also, I do have a Twitter account, so it's Crypto Grinders. Yeah, you can look for me at Crypto Grinders on Twitter as well.
No problem. It will be on the screen. Ryan, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you, Lior. Thank you so much for having me. Cheers.
All over the world, cryptocurrencies are making headlines right now. It is at the point of mass acceptance. It's important to adapt to this change and not fight it. The way forward includes epic opportunities such as high blockchain technologies has provided us with, and will continue to do so. Go to wealthresearchgroup.com/must for our full write-up on the company, and to their official website for all the latest news releases coming out. I also just suggest you prepare for the market shock I see coming in 3 to 4 quarters by educating yourself on our blueprint master plan at wealthresearchgroup.com/crash. If you are truly flexible and ready to live a wealthy life, no matter what the sacrifices that must be made are, go to wealthresearchgroup.com/freedom for the 5 essentials to reaching financial independence. Keep tuning in, keep building your financial fortress so that no government can ever touch your wealth and no external event can ever ruin it.